Powerful people have strong opinions on COVID, but they often break their own rules. Here are the top 8 times powerful people were COVID hypocrites. Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and powerful people being hypocrites. And as powerful people have promoted restrictive COVID-19 policies over the past year and a half, their hypocrisy has led to the expression "rules for thee but not for me" becoming such a meme that you can now buy it on a shirt on Amazon. Of course, trying to stick it to the elite by giving money to Amazon is kind of like trying to kill a horse by giving it a sugar cube. Take that, you stupid horse. Today, I'm going to count down the top 8 times that powerful people exposed themselves as hypocrites during the COVID-19 pandemic. Starting with number 8. Los Angeles County Supervisor Sheila Kuehl voted to ban outdoor dining in LA in December of last year. To celebrate this decision, she then dined outdoors a few hours later, before the ruling took effect the following evening. I'd say you can't have your cake and eat it too, but she clearly did. Outdoors. This is like celebrating alcohol prohibition by doing a keg stand. Kuehl justified her decision to ban outdoor dining by saying the servers are not protected from us and they're not protected from their other tables that they're serving at that particular time, plus all the hours in which they're working. Even worse, the servers weren't protected from losing their jobs at the whim of a cake-having, keg-standing hypocrite. Number 7. San Francisco implemented an indoor mask mandate in August for all citizens regardless of vaccination status. Well, all of its citizens except for its mayor, who was caught maskless at a nightclub in September. San Francisco Mayor London Breed defended herself, saying that she had her mask off because she was eating and drinking. She apparently has a very flexible definition of eating and drinking. Mayor Breed also said, "Don't feel as though you have to be micromanaged about mask wearing. Like, we don't need the fun police to come in and try and micromanage and tell us what we should or shouldn't be doing." Wait, isn't that exactly what you've been doing, though? You're the fun police. That's why people say AFCAB. Mayor Breed also said, "We know what we need to do to protect ourselves." Yeah, people do know how to best protect themselves. Unless we're talking about vaccines, of course. In that case, they don't know what's best for themselves. So there needs to be sweeping mandates from the chief of the fun police himself. Number 6. You know how Fox News has been critical of companies that require their employees to disclose their vaccination status? Well, Fox News requires its employees to disclose their vaccination status. And Fox News employees that aren't fully vaccinated must be tested for COVID daily. The only time you should be upset when you see someone doing the exact same thing you're doing is when that thing is your spouse. For those of you keeping score, we've seen Democrats acting like COVID is a big deal in public, but not in private, and Republicans acting like COVID isn't a big deal in public, but that it is in private. And that's just the start of the hypocrisy. More after the break. Welcome back. Number 5. It seems like the best way to protect yourself from COVID-19 is by being rich and famous. At least that's what the experts are implying when they make exemptions for celebrity gatherings. Performers at the 2020 MTV VMAs last year in New York weren't required to quarantine like regular citizens. And this year in New York, masked servers waited on extravagantly dressed celebrities at the Met Gala. According to the New York Times, attendees at the Met Gala were told they would be required to show proof of vaccination, receive a negative COVID-19 test, and wear a mask at all times unless eating. But that last rule didn't seem to apply to celebrities on the red carpet. Except for this guy. He's following the rules. The only time any of these celebrities covered their faces is when they cringed at AOC's Tax the Rich dress. And over in California, the Los Angeles Department of Health said the celebrities at this year's Emmys didn't break any rules by not wearing masks or social distancing since they were considered performers. If sitting around getting drunk and eating too much food while watching TV makes you a performer, then you can consider me Marlon Brando. Late stage Brando, obviously. Speaking of parties attended by the rich and famous, number 4. Former President Barack Obama planned a massive 60th birthday party for himself in August. He had initially invited hundreds of guests, including tons of celebrities. But when he was called out on it, Obama said this event was planned before the Delta variant became so widespread. So to set a good example, he canceled the event. Just kidding. He went ahead with it anyway. Although Obama did announce his party would be COVID compliant and that it would be significantly downsized in terms of attendance. Oh, so that's why I was uninvited. It's not because I wasn't cool enough. It was because Obama was being responsible. However, pictures surfaced of the event showing seemingly hundreds of guests in attendance. If you're wondering how going from 300 invites to 299 invites was considered significant, it's because the one person who got uninvited was very significant. And as far as COVID compliance, Obama was photographed dancing without a mask. Even though he reportedly provided custom masks for his party guests, almost no one was wearing a mask in any of the leaked pictures. I can't blame the guests, though. If the former president doesn't have to wear one, why should you? More after this final break. Welcome back. Number 3. Considering how stressful this whole pandemic has been, I can't blame anyone who'd want to get away from it all and take a vacation. Well, almost anyone. Because Steve Adler, mayor of Austin, Texas, took off to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico on a private jet last November to host a wedding for his daughter while telling citizens they should stay at home. I can blame him for taking a vacation. Here's what Adler had to say to his constituents.
And we need to, stay home if you can. This is not the time to relax.
He literally recorded this message while relaxing in Mexico. Adler defended himself, saying there was no recommendation for people not to travel during that period of time. Someone could look at me and say he traveled. But what they could not say is that I traveled at a time when I was telling other people not to travel. So he told people to stay at home, but he didn't tell them not to travel? Forget the private jet. This guy is an elitist because he clearly has a teleporter. That's the only way to explain how he was able to travel while staying at home. It's also the only way to explain his face, since he looks like his DNA was altered when a sloth got in the teleporter with him. Number 2. Last September, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi ignored San Francisco COVID restrictions to have her hair styled at an indoor salon. This obviously created quite the controversy, considering how Pelosi was one of the biggest advocates for lockdowns. Upon being caught, she immediately apologized. Just kidding. Pelosi defended herself, saying she was the victim of a setup by the salon owner. The stylist who worked on Pelosi's hair supported Pelosi's claim, saying that the salon owner released footage of a maskless Pelosi as a sort of gotcha. I'll concede that the one brief video clip of Pelosi maskless doesn't prove she was maskless the whole time she was in the salon. But when Pelosi says she was set up, is she implying this salon owner somehow tricked her into ignoring her own COVID restrictions? How would the salon owner have been able to do that? Did she also have a teleporter? If that's really Nancy Pelosi's excuse, then this is a much more appropriate haircut for her. And finally, number 1. What else could top this list other than California Governor Gavin Newsom having dinner at the French Laundry? This dinner was one of the main reasons 2 million Californians signed the petition that led to the California gubernatorial recall election Newsom faced in September, which cost taxpayers $276 million. As if dinner at the French Laundry wasn't already expensive enough. I can't even pronounce half the menu items. Now, I don't expect any elected leader to be perfect. Even the people who believe wearing a mask and social distancing are the right things to do slip up from time to time. But what wasn't just a slip-up is this. While California's public schools remained closed, Governor Newsom sent his own children to a wealthy private school that was open for in-person learning. As I said, Clearly, the best way to protect yourself from COVID-19 is not by staying at home or wearing a mask. It's by being rich and famous. The reason all this infuriated people is that Gavin Newsom is the one who made the rules that shut down so many things in California, putting thousands of people out of work and causing countless businesses to permanently close. And if that wasn't aggravating enough, Newsom also implemented a color-coded system to determine which parts of California could reopen and when. Newsom's system was easily the second most offensive way people in America have been divided by color. And everyone who suspected the color-coded system was a terrible idea received confirmation of it when Newsom himself ignored it by eating at that fancy restaurant. It's hard for anyone to think COVID is a big deal when the person saying it's a big deal is acting like it isn't a big deal. But what is a big deal is the fact that this gathering was to celebrate the birthday party of one of Newsom's lobbyist pals. That's truly the icing on the rich elitist cake. So what do you think about powerful people's COVID hypocrisy? Leave your comments below. And remember, America Uncovered is supported mainly by viewers. Be sure to visit patreon.com/AmericaUncovered. Contribute $1 or more per episode. We rely on your support to help us keep making great episodes. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching America Uncovered.